Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I've had this one for a bit. I didn't want to rush and make a video, but I also don't really need 20 minutes to cover it. So here's a quick take that took a while to get to. But before we get into that, don't forget to check this great discount for it. You can find the link in both the video description and the top comment below. Alright, enough talk. Let's get right into it.
Now, let's hear directly from our first reviewer about their experience.
This reviewer, a former master mechanic with decades of experience working on everything from heavy equipment to small engines, was in the market for a very small power source for his enclosed car trailer. After doing some research and watching available videos, he decided to give this portable generator a try, despite some initial reservations about its origins. Right out of the box, our reviewer was pleasantly surprised by both the secure packaging and the overall initial build quality of the unit. He noted that while it's obviously not a premium brand machine, its performance was impressive from the start. After filling it with the proper mixed fuel for break-in and priming the engine with a few pulls, the machine fired right up on the very first try. A key point of observation was the noise level. For a two-stroke engine, he found the sound to be quite acceptable and not over the top, remarking that some older four-stroke generators can actually be much louder. This client found that the unit runs at its smoothest and quietest when under a moderate 50% load. He did encounter one minor, easily fixed issue where a carburetor float stuck after the first tank of fuel, but a simple tipping of the machine resolved it permanently. He appreciated the convenience of multiple outlets, though he cautioned that this could make it easier to accidentally overload the machine. The included 12-volt charging harness was a welcome and handy accessory. Ultimately, our reviewer concluded that as long as the small unit proves to be durable and isn't pushed beyond its limits, it represents a very reasonable and capable option for light-duty applications.
Fantastic. Now, let's see what insights our next reviewer has to offer.
This reviewer initially purchased this portable generator for a very specific purpose, to run an air conditioning unit in their RV, acting as a secondary power source. Unfortunately, the experience soured quickly. After only a few hours of operation and despite following all the setup instructions to the letter, including the proper fuel-to-oil ratio, the unit suddenly failed. It stopped providing power and began to rev uncontrollably, and no amount of troubleshooting could get it working again. The initial attempt to resolve the issue through the online retailer where it was purchased was a major source of frustration. Our reviewer described a maddening process where the website's return form would repeatedly delete all the carefully typed details and uploaded photos upon submission. After several failed attempts, it became clear this was a dead end. To make matters worse, the next step involved contacting the manufacturer directly, which required creating an account on their website just to initiate a support claim, adding another layer of hassle to an already stressful situation. However, this is where the story takes a positive turn. Once contact was made, the company's support team proved to be excellent. They worked with our client on troubleshooting, and when that didn't solve the problem, they fully acknowledged that sometimes a product can simply be faulty from the factory. This client was so impressed with how the company took ownership of the problem and ensured a satisfactory outcome that their entire opinion was reversed. They felt that the manufacturer truly cared about making things right, a gesture that earned back their trust and left them willing to give the brand another chance in the future.
Excellent. Let's find out what our next reviewer has to share about their experience.
This reviewer wanted to share their thoughts on this portable generator, and overall, they're pretty happy with it. The initial impression was positive, thankfully arriving in perfect condition. No dents, scratches, or any of those annoying shipping damages you sometimes see. More importantly, it actually does what it's supposed to do. This client reported no leaks or issues with the fuel tank, which is always a relief. The only minor snag our reviewer encountered was with the battery charging port. It seems like the connection wasn't quite perfect upon arrival, perhaps a little damaged. However, even with this slight imperfection, it still functions properly and allows for battery charging as intended. This didn't affect the generator's primary function, which is to produce power. Speaking of power, this generator delivers. This user mentioned it handily powers up everything they've needed it to, performing exactly as advertised. The reviewer concludes that it's ideally suited for generating electricity while on the move. In their own words, it's perfect for generating power on the go. So despite the small issue with the charging port, this portable generator seems like a solid and reliable option for those needing power away from traditional outlets.
And that's it. If this video helped, hit like and subscribe for more. Let me know what you think down below. Thanks for watching.